Hi, I'm Gennadiy Khvoryh, I'm a C, and I'm ready to answer your questions.
Great. Tell me please, what do you like most about your profession?
I like most about my profession, it has to do with the ending of event. Let's imagine that event is finished and people come to me and say, "Thank you, Gennadiy, it was awesome, we really appreciate your help. Without you it was something different, and with you the event was exactly we expected it to be." So I would say that I like the, feedback from the people, that my clients are lucky and that I was at my place. I mean that I do something that people like.
Where and how did you study foreign language?
I studied English language when I was a student of Moscow State University. I graduated this university in 1994. I studied English language for 3 years, and actually my school language was French, and when I entered university I had to study new language, and actually I enjoyed it, and also read a lot of books, watched movies, and had some practice of speaking with the American teachers who came to university just to teach other students.
What is your style? What makes your performance as a toastmaster unique?
That's a very important question. Being an actor, I have second education background as an actor. I graduated Moscow Theatre School. I can be different, but for me, I like to be a little bit more, intellectual than wild parties. So in these parties, when there are a lot of just nice jokes, I feel more comfortable. But I see at my clients, so what they expect, and I can be of different style of performing during the event. But what makes my event unique? I would say that there is something special in all events, because they accompany our life from the very beginning to the end. We celebrate birthday, wedding parties, a lot of corporate events, and all these events unite something very important thing. Why do we do this? Because we need someone who brings us from point A to point B. I like to be a guide for my clients, to bring them, to drive them during the event, and to help them to be in point B in easiest and fastest way.
Tell us about your experience as a toastmaster. How much experience do you have working with international couples?
Can you imagine that my first wedding party was in English? It was in 1997. I was a student of Moscow State University, acted in theater, and my friends invited me as a second MC. They had international wedding party and invited me as a second MC because I knew English language, and it was awesome, and that's why I understood that I need to do it, I like it. So my first event as a wedding party happened in 1997, and since that time I invited during each year for 5 or 6 wedding parties, not only in Russia but outside. Let's give me an example. In 2010 I was invited to UK city called Bath for wedding party. We had a Russian bride and UK groom. It was a very nice party, and actually if you like I can tell you more about this. But another example, also invited not only as a MC or toastmaster, but also as corporate speaker to present different goods. For example, JVC company invited me several times in Amsterdam, where I presented camcorder. It was not usual camcorders for professional, and because I have TV background, so I know a lot about these camcorders. They invited me, and I performed at the exhibition in Amsterdam. And I also had a practice of presenting different goods in USA, but it's another story.
Are there any differences between working with international couples and Russian couples?
Actually, yes and no. If you speak about something basic that lie under all events, the approaches, the methods are the same. But of course, there's some difference. Let me give an example. It has to do with the fact that we have two groups of people who speaks in different languages, and the question is, do we have a wedding party or any other event in Russian or in English and Russian, or in Russian with translation in English? And if we have a party in 2 languages, it means that we need more time. and it means that we will succeed in accomplishing less thing compared to the party where we have only one language. Do you follow me? Yeah. So there are some differences, but usually my approach is to mix, to take into account all interests of all group of people, and just simple mix. Let's do something dealing with the Russian tradition or Russian element of Russian wedding, then English wedding, and so forth. Just mix different cultures.
It's a good approach. Well, give advice to prospective newlyweds preparing for the wedding.
Well, when my clients invite me, I ask them to do very similar thing. Prior we start to discuss anything. Actually, I advise you to do this prior to start the organization of any event. Let's imagine that event is over, that the wedding party is over. 10 p.m. you sit with the wife or husband, it doesn't matter, guests are passed, and just what kind of feelings do you experience? What do you feel? Or what do you see outside? Let's just imagine this. It means that let's set a goal. What do you expect? What are you going to do? Because the ship that doesn't have a goal, no wind will follow the ship. No wind will assist the ship. And the first advice I ask newlyweds just to think about the goal. Where are you going to be at this wedding party?
Please tell about an interesting or funny incident that you've experienced in the wedding or event business.
Okay, we speak about international parties. Of course, each party has something different, and during each party we have some sort of happenings. It's easy to understand because all people are different, and that's okay. But I have this. I would call it not the story, observation. At any international party, the following happens. We have two groups of people who speak in different languages, and they do not understand each other at the beginning. They don't understand. They do not know any other words of different languages. But I noted that in about 1 hour, they start to communicate. Of course, the alcohol is reason, but they do not say any words, but they understand each other. I think it's some sort of magic.
I agree. What difficulties have you had working at international weddings or maybe corporate events? If you have prevented any problems, how did you do it?
Any event, as I call it, it's a structure with a lot of parameters. And of course people try to control all these parameters, but it's not possible to control all of them, and something can happen. But if it's happened, just be quiet, enjoy the atmosphere. And I would say, actually I like the profession of trainer, because say for example soccer trainer, football trainer, what does he do? He says, if something happens, everything is fine in our team, in our group. And when I'm debating, I consider all these to be like a crew. So it doesn't matter what happens, if something is going wrong, so everything is perfect, so nobody should know about this. So, and that's my task to prevent this sort of thing. Well, and speaking about how I approach difficulties at the wedding parties, I usually advise just to remember one very simple thing, because it's only one day, and it means that you should not focus on problems, just be lucky, entertain, be happy, and everything will be fine.
Maybe you can give us an example. How did you solve some problems?
I wouldn't call these problems. I name this as a peculiarity of international parties, because we have different cultures, different people. At the beginning, there is a period that I call induction, when people just get acquainted with each other, and it looks at the beginning that something is going wrong and people are calm, but that's why I'm here, just to, how to say it, to move it forward, to tell people, to show people that everything is fine, that you can say something, that you can take part in games, that you can express yourself. So the peculiarity of all events and international wedding parties has to do with the fact that at the beginning we have some sort of introduction. I call it the rule that party should be constructed in such a way as to go from simple to complex, as to speed up a little bit. So at the beginning we are slow, then we speed up, and so on and so forth.
What may surprise foreign guests at a Russian wedding? What wouldn't they expect?
Say, for example, I noticed it several times. Let's take UK. Guests from UK. I performed in UK, and I know that it's not a good idea to express yourself, your emotions, when you sit at the table and just to make toast. Yeah, there are toasts at the wedding parties in UK, but there are only 3 toasts. The men make them. I see this, that at the beginning UK people behave themselves a little bit calm, but when they see that it's possible just to stand up and make a lot of toasts, to congratulate, to take part in the games, they start to participate in all of this sort of thing.
Do foreigners generally like Russian weddings and our way of celebrating?
Yes, I would say yes, because it's very interesting how different people live, what sort of culture they have, what kind of tradition, what does it mean, what does each tradition mean. Usually I experience that people from different countries, they pay a lot of attention and they would like to take part in Russian style weddings.
Have you ever had unusual requests from international couples or corporate clients?
Actually, I would say maybe I visited a lot of wedding parties that something unusual looks to me very usual. But okay, maybe another observation. Usually we have this situation. We have this situation that bride is Russian and groom is English speaking. But I had only one wedding party where it was just the opposite. A woman was English speaking and a man was Russian. Just the observation.
Thank you for answering.
You're welcome. Okay, let me give you one advice. I would like first to remember the first one. When you plan event, think about the goal, where I would like to be. But the second advice has to do, what should we make in order all events, any kind of events, was successful? It's very simple. And the key moment is to involve the people. What do you remember? You won in lottery, someone told you that someone won in lottery, or you saw that someone won a lottery. Of course, you will remember the event where you participated. So the second advice, just to involve the people. If you'd like to learn more about wedding, how to prepare them, how to organize them, more secrets, just feel free to ask me and I'll do my best for your wedding becoming exactly what you expect. And this video was recorded especially for Positive Event Agency.